Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Becky and today we're here to do a 12 by 12 layout as per usual. Today we're going to be using the Deck the Halls collection from Close to My Heart. That's the collection that one side was like a coastal Christmas and the opposite side was more like a coastal themed. You can see here I already pulled out some of the papers I wanted to use. In the top left hand corner of your screen you will see the layout I am scrap lifting. This is a layout I did of Kathy, one of the text messages that she had sent me, which was hilarious. It cracked me up, so I scrapbooked it. Anyways, we are going to be scrap lifting that. I am going to be using this diagonal stripe paper, which is a really cute. The opposite side has polka dots on it, and those will come back in here in a minute. And then for the base, I trimmed it down 1.5 inches on two sides. So about ish. 3/4 of an inch will be all the way around. That's what it looked like the original was to me. And quite honestly, not gonna lie, didn't measure it, but that's what it looked like to me when I eyeballed. Now you can see here I am wiping off all the extra glue because, you know, when I put it down, I kind of went outside the lines and there are some spots that the glue would not come off of. And I actually ended up having to cover that up with some embellishments. No big deal though. Right here, I am trimming down my photos. I think originally I trimmed them down 5 by 4, or maybe it's 4.5 by 4, something like that. I will come back in and make them smaller. These are photos of a, what is it called? A heron, whatever, that we had seen when we were driving on the beach. Because here in Florida, well, where I'm living now, you can drive on the beach. How cool is that? So I am using the main paper, this one right here. It's like the featured paper. It is super gorgeous. I am using that as the up and down, or some people say vertical, strip of paper, and I'm going to be using this polka dot paper as a horizontal strip. Now that polka dot paper is the opposite side of the stripe paper. Did you see when I flipped that over and put some adhesive on the back of it? It's Christmas presents. So that's where it comes in. One side is coastal Christmas, one side is more coastal. So yes, see, I did have like a big problem with adhesive right here. I have got to stop doing that. Whew, I don't want to say I can't find my adhesive eraser. I just have not looked for it, but it's probably in the other room that is still full of boxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this one down. It was a little bit long. I want it to be like maybe about 1/2 inch from this side is why I did that. I love that picture that's on top right there. I do trim it down a little bit. So a lot of that reflection that's on the ocean, we kind of end up cutting off because that's not really what the story is, even though it's so gorgeous. Right here on the sticker sheet that came with this, I am trimming out the word paradise because I did not want to take it off of the paper just yet. And also, I mean, I could have used my anti-static pouch to unsticky it, but it's a word, so they're kind of thinner and a little bit more, you know, fragile, and I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to make sure it would fit where I wanted it to without ruining it. So that's all it took right there. I just had to cut it out a little bit. I am going to stick this right there. That's going to serve as my title. It says Paradise. I'm not necessarily going to be talking about paradise in my journaling. All that spotted piece that's above the word paradise is going to serve as my journaling spot. Now in the original photo, you can see the photos are to the right-hand side. In this one, the photos are to the left-hand side. Now, the way the bird is facing, it should have been on the right-hand side. But the way that the bird is positioned in the photographs over on the right-hand side didn't really serve that for me too much. So I went ahead and just swapped it over. Right here, we're coming back. I did pull out the stamp set that came with this. I got the stamp set for the Paradise, and I also got the stamp set for the Christmas. Of course, I used the Paradise on here. I also cut out some tags and one tab from the garden tag set from Close to My Heart. Do you remember when our stamp of the month, I don't remember what month it was. It was a tag, a garden tag. It had like flowers and stuff on it you could color. It was so pretty. And we ended up coming out with a die that you can cut it out with. I don't know if it's still available, but I think it's called Garden Tag Set. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I used that, and then I used the stamp set that is from the coastal part of this collection, the Deck the Halls collection. Right here is the sticker I'm putting down. It's a really pretty yellow flower. I am going to put foam tape under the left-hand side of that so it pops up a little bit. Again, I'm still really into that, popping up just a portion of it. I'm going to do it with this pink flower as well. With the pink flowers, what I did was I stamped them in raspberry, and then I took the ballerina and used a sponge and just blotted it on. With the leaves, I stamped those in clover, and I used mint to blot on the colors. I think those turned out so pretty. I absolutely love those. I will definitely be trying to recreate those again. In fact, I still have them out, so I just might make some extras just to have. So you can see right there, I put some crochet thread through there. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. The top tag, I'm going to tie the crochet thread a little bit differently, and it's because I use the remainder. And I'm not going to lie, that the top thread, how it turns out, way better than the side thread. I love it way better. So we might end up tying our tags a little differently here and there. In the coastal stamp set, there are also some shells. So I did stamp out 2 shells. I used the toffee ink to stamp the shell, and I used the almond ink just to dab on a little bit of color with a sponge. So those are the colors that are being used there. Isn't that how that's tied? So cute. Now it's only tied one tie, right? So I had to put some glue under there just to make sure it stays over time, but I think it is so cute. I love that. That's probably my favorite part of this entire layout, is that the way that crochet thread is tied on that top tag. I just think it's so cute. And again, when I put that flower down, it's flush, but also with a piece of foam tape over toward the end of it, just so it sticks up. Here's another type of leaf that was also in that stamp set that I just go ahead and stick down. I am also putting a little foam tape underneath the tip of it so that that top piece stands out. Here is a stamp that was in that same stamp set, and it says Stand Tall. It's got a faux hole in it, and I just leave it that way. I leave it that way. I do. Right here, I'm going to add a little bit more at the bottom because that's where I had that glue issue you can see down there. So we're just going to extend that cluster down a little bit and cover up my mistake because I cannot get it. I couldn't get that glue off. So we're just going to extend that cluster down and cover it up. I often do that, guys. If you make a mistake on your layout, cover it up. It's not a big deal. It's a opportunity for more embellishment is what it is. So yes, just cover it up. There I pulled out some wildberry enamel dots. They did not really match the raspberry very well. So I took out this pack of sequins. These sequins are from the Crafty collection we had. They're just called loose sequins from Crafty. They might still be available in the clearance section, actually. And I just pulled out all the raspberry color ones. You'll see in the up close photos, these are so cool because they're iridescent. They're pink. They're a deep pink. They're the raspberry color, but they're also iridescent. So in some of the photographs you'll see coming up, some of them look a little yellow. Some of them look a little gold. Some of them look definitely the deep pink. It is really cool the way that they play with the light. I absolutely love that. I am using these bling Zots that I also picked up over at Close to My Heart to put my sequins down. That's always what I use. We do now have a pickup tool, and I have not been able to get my hands on it yet. Every time I go in to get it, yeah, it's sold out a lot. So I do need to make a point to go over there and try and pick it up and find it. You can see there I switched around the sequins a little bit because there was a spot down there at the bottom that looked messed up to me under the P. So I did switch those sequins down a little, not down. I switched those sequins around a little bit. After I do this, even though I do have a white background, I am going to pull out the Dina Wakley white gloss spray because I'm absolutely in love with that. I am obsessed. Guys, I can't help it. I am obsessed. I think I've been working with this. I remember when I first got it, I was working on the Halloween collection from close to my heart. Okay, that's how obsessed I am with it. I am still working with this gloss spray because I love it so much. All right, guys, that is all we're going to do to this layout. There are some still shots coming up. They look a little blue, but they're not. They're white. It's overcast here today, but you know what you get what you get, right? I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please check the links down below if you'd like to support my channel. Hop over to beckybidding.closetomyheart.com and pick yourself something up. I would suggest the gloss spray, obviously, because I'm obsessed with it. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Bye, guys.